TIFU by revealing my Instagram feed at my new job, bank. This happened to me last week. I'm a 20-year-old male. I was very recently employed at this bank's headquarters as a software engineer. Out of the 350 accounts I follow on Instagram, only like 5 of those post NSFW content. I get in the elevator with other 10 to 12 very important looking people. I'm the last one to enter and I'm facing the door with everyone behind me facing the door as well. I unlock my phone and click on Instagram. In that split of a second while it's opening up, I become aware that the luminosity on my phone is maxed out. As I go to lower it, the first post loads and it's a nearly naked model with utterly large curves. I block my phone immediately and put it in my pocket, but I knew I had just played myself. Dude to my left clears his throat and moves a little bit, trying to ease the discomfort, I suppose. Dude to my right silently goes, "You horny MF," and proceeds to giggle. Heard from behind someone going TSS gay, as in what an idiot. Big yikes. Remember people, always have a second account for NSFW, keep your mains clean. TL Doctor, I'm new at the bank, opened Instagram in elevator and now my co-workers think I'm a horny MF. Edit 1, spelling. Edit 2, this exploded. Thank you guys for sharing my awkwardness, it's making me overcome it already, aha. Edit 3, yes guys, if I get fired or pull a move on the girl I will update this. I follow exactly 0 NSFW accounts. But this exact thing still happened to me when I opened Insta in an elevator and a tattoo account I follow decided to suddenly post BDSM content. By recently employed, do you mean new hire or new fire? Ahahaha, nice one. I didn't realize it could be interpreted both ways. I meant I was hired 3 weeks ago. Well, you're right, you FD up lol. The worst part about this is the girl I have a crush on here. I really hope it doesn't reach her lol. I've learned to just never open Instagram in public because meme pages can even be unpredictable. Make friends with the guy who called you a horny MF. Man, some people here seem to have taken a dislike in that guy, but honestly now that I look back, that shit was so funny lol. He surely wanted to laugh with me and not at me, compared to the other guys who kept themselves serious and actually seemed to judge me. TIFU by packing a used condom in my 4-year-old preschooler's lunch. Here we go, I haven't shared this with a soul, and this is one that I thought I would take to my grave, but after a couple years of digesting the haunting, I suppose it's too hilarious to withhold any longer. And confessing to strangers is cheaper than therapy. My boyfriend and I had just finished lovey time, and had to dispose of the Olay Jimmy hat. There happened to be an empty paper bag sitting on the nightstand, classic brown lunch sack style. Bingo, quick dropped her in there, out of sight of mind, forgotten. Fast forward a couple days, I'm tidying up my apartment. Being the avid recycler I am, I see what appears to be a perfectly empty paper bag with plenty of opportunity for reuse, and I refolded it to add to my baggy stash. I later decided to send my 4-year-old daughter's PBJ, veggies, and applesauce to preschool in said bag one hurried morning. I should note that I also worked as an assistant teacher at this preschool. Come that afternoon, I arrived to the classroom ready to accompany the kids for their lunchtime. My coworker very sweetly pulled me aside and handed me a bundled, trash bag with a smile on her face. She goes, "I was unpacking your daughter's lunch today and I noticed something strange on her plate. I thought you might want to see. But, you probably want to open this somewhere private." I still didn't have a hint of a clue what was going on. I snuck into the teacher's office to take a peek, and there it was, my wilty shriveled condom. In my workplace. In my little girl's preschool? Double whammy. WTF. And now if you want a real graphic mental image, I must have been at the beginning or end of my period at the time it was used, because it was tinted red/brown. I nearly blacked out from humiliation and tried to rack my brain for how on earth that possibly could have fucking happened. Finally I remembered, and realized it must have been sticky enough to adhere the inner wall of the bag, and being somewhat clear, I totally overlooked it. I did my walk of shame out of the office, apologized to the other teacher profusely, and we buckled over hysterically laughing. She assured me it was no problem, and that she didn't tell anyone else. I found it especially courteous that she gave it back to me to dispose of myself. It could have been so much worse had it gone any other way. My daughter herself could have found it and presented it in front of her 30 classmates. Luckily her lunch was all enclosed and stayed sanitary, and she was able to eat it like nothing ever happened. God damn it. That evening, the teacher sent me a nice text to further ease my shame. She shared that she'd been struggling with depression, and the situation made her belly laugh harder than she had all year. That alone was closure for me, and to this day we've had a special raw bond. No pun intended. TL, Dr. A used condom was thrown away in my daughter's recycled lunch bag, but it was found and disposed of privately. Hysterical. I still recall the horrifying day when a male co-worker discreetly handed me a balled-up pair of panties. I stood there baffled until he whispered that they fell from my pant leg. Apparently I re-wore a pair of jeans and the panties had remained hidden in the leg until I sauntered across the office floor, when they made their escape, only to be snatched up by my eagle-eyed colleague. This was years ago, and it's still cringe when I think of it. Good times. You're lucky the other teacher was cool and this didn't rub her the wrong way. Oh my fucking god. You dodged one hell of a bullet there. I'm almost too shocked to even find it funny. Almost. It was horrifying to even rewrite the story. It's almost too bad to be true. Wait, you guys don't pack used condoms in your lunch intentionally. They're pretty handy for packing your nuts by day and by night. You sent her little brother to school with her. Or, that's sweet, smiling face with hearts, smiling face with hearts. TIFU by giving my friend a lap dance. 2 days ago, I got stood up and ghosted by a Tinder date that I was really vibing with. Lovely situation overall, but since I booked a nice dinner for two at one of my favorite spots, I figured I shouldn't cancel, and invited a friend of mine to come with me. After teasing me about my ghost situation for about a solid hour, not maliciously, he agreed and told me he didn't have plans, so it'd be nice to catch up and chat. We were classmates in high school but haven't been keeping up with each other all that often. It was actually a fun date. We caught up on our studies and what's been going on in our lives, and about 2 hours and few drinks later, somehow, someway the conversation steered towards me knowing how to give lap dances. I'm not sure what or whether I was thinking at all when I brought that up, but tipsy me is like that sometimes. After discussing my lap dancing abilities, he jokingly said I should reward him with a lap dance for coming in last second as my date replacement, and naturally, tipsy me thought that'd be the coolest idea ever. We went back to my apartment and I told him to wait in my room while I get changed. I got super into the idea of the lap dance too. I went the whole 9 yards for the dance. I busted out my best lingerie, and even wore a latex corset. As I said, I got super into the idea of the lap dance, so I started giving him a lap dance with music and everything, and I mean everything. I got so laser focused, and tipsy, on the lap dance that I completely forgot to close the blinds on my bedroom windows, and by windows I mean the whole wall facing the building across the street, and the main street below my apartment is all basically a gigantic window. Given that it was night and my Christmas lights were on, everything inside was visible. Everything. Oh, and I live on a very busy, downtown street that's filled with people at any given time. When we both realized what's going on, we quickly stopped the whole lap dance thing and laughed our asses off. Him, because he found it funny, and me, because I wanted to hide my deathly embarrassment of the whole situation. That kinda killed the lap dancing vibe, though, so he went home shortly afterwards. He's still teasing me about it, 2 days later, and I'm pretty sure I gave a show to more people that I wanted to. I don't think I'll ever live this situation down. I'm embarrassed just thinking about it. TL, Doctor, I gave a friend of mine a lap dance in my bedroom, without realizing the window blinds were open, thus giving the world a show to see. Edit, apparently I'm a friend-zoning bitch, and since I can't reply to you all separately, I figured I'll post this edit, but you're all assuming that nothing else would have happened if not for the awkward situation, and you're all painting him like a child that can't make a move if he wants to. Edit 2, guys, just because I didn't fuck him doesn't mean that he's a heartbroken, petrified kid who's stuck in a friend zone. At least forward your insults to me instead of low-key making my friend look like a bitch. Edit 3, last edit. Since you guys are a lovely bunch, would it make you all feel better if I flat out said I would have gone all the way if it wasn't for the unfortunate situation? Because I would have. I came for the TLDR, but I'm staying for the edits. This is just like that one time I jokingly asked for a blowjob, then my friend jokingly gave me one, then we jokingly dated for 12 years as a joke. She must have been tipsy the whole 12 years. I guess the "is she into you?" casually explained video isn't too far off. About that edit, I'm pretty sure my man asking for a fucking lap dance is a move LMFAO. For real, that's bold as fuck.